The lead counsel for Rodrigo Duterte at the ICC pre-trial says high-value target is not a code for instructions to kill. In his closing statement, prosecutor Julian Nichols tells the ICC Rodrigo Duterte must answer for the dead, adding the evidence demands it. Families of drug war victims say Rodrigo Duterte's defense team belittles their loss. Rafael Lotilla exits as DENR chief and will serve as the Philippines' ambassador to the Vatican. And the Chinese embassy criticizes a PCIJ video report about Chinese propaganda and influence operations in the Philippines. The lead counsel for Rodrigo Duterte's defense, Nicholas Kaufman, in his arguments on Day 4 of the ICC pre-trial hearings, casts doubt on the prosecution's case against his client. He invokes the principle of in dubio pro reo, which means when in doubt, the court must rule for the accused. Commenting on Count 2 or the alleged murders of high-value targets when Duterte was president, Kaufman says the term high-value target was merely an operational classification.
HVT is not a code for an instruction to kill or a witch hunt. It was a prioritization tool within anti-drug operations applied across regions and units on the basis of intelligence assessments, alleged position within drug networks, or inclusion on watch lists.
For Count 3, where it is alleged that he targeted low-level drug users and pushers nationwide, Kaufman argues that routine buy-bust operations are allegedly being falsely recast as sham executions. He says the legitimacy of these operations were supported by judicial warrants and forensic evidence like gunpowder residue. He further claims that the prosecution's evidence are uncorroborated insider witness accounts. Senior trial lawyer Julian Nichols delivers the closing statement for the prosecution on the final day of the pre-trial hearing of Rodrigo Duterte at the ICC. Nichols challenges the defense team's attempts to distance Duterte from the thousands of deaths in the campaign and argues there are substantial grounds to confirm the charges against the accused. He asserts, based on witness testimony, the term neutralize means to kill. Nichols notes the timing of its use aligns with the murder of Leyte Mayor Rolando Espinosa and Raul Yap. Nichols ends his statement with this.
It's a quote from a speech on August 16, 2017. What did he say? Quote, "I know I will have my own downfall. I cannot be president forever. I know that they will demand to answer for all this dead." And he was right when he spoke those words. He must answer for the dead. The victims demand it. Justice demands it, and for purposes of confirmation, the evidence demands it.
Meantime, lawyer for the victims' families, Gilbert Andres, asks the court to commit to a full-blown trial so that victims and their families can reclaim their dignity and access justice.
They want to be reintegrated to their communities because they are still in the shadows of fake news, of fear and of threats from Mr. Duterte's supporters.
Families of victims of former President Rodrigo Duterte's drug war say his defense belittles their loss. This as Duterte's defense team refutes allegations of his responsibility in the widespread and systematic killings when he was in power.
Nakikita po namin na talagang minaliit po ang aming pagkatao. Kung baga, parang niwalang halaga yung aming mga mahal sa buhay. Sinasabi na numero lang.
Among Duterte's lead counsel, Nicholas Kaufman's arguments, Duterte's policy did not target the larger civilian population but rather a defined subgroup. Shira Escudero, who lost her brother Efrain to the drug war, says the defense's arguments do not change the fact that many people died during the campaign. Kaufman says in an interview he did not mean to make light of victims' suffering, but he had a job to do. Rafael Lotilla exits President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s cabinet and will move on to serve as the Philippines' ambassador to the Holy See or the Vatican. Lotilla was first appointed energy chief before being moved to head the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Undersecretary Juan Miguel Cuna will replace Lotilla as Environment Secretary. Cuna has been with the DENR since 2008 and rose through the ranks. He had served as Undersecretary for Field Operations in Luzon and Visayas and supervised the Mines and Geosciences Bureau and the Environment Management Bureau in both regions. The Chinese embassy in Manila criticizes the Philippine Center for Investigative Journalism after the independent news group released a video about alleged Chinese propaganda and influence operations in the Philippines. The video outlined 5 red flags to identify possible pro-China propaganda on social media. An embassy spokesperson did not address the points raised in the report, but highlighted that PCIJ had received grants from the US-funded National Endowment for Democracy, implying that its funding affects its credibility. PCIJ responded by expressing regret and alarm over the embassy's allegations, saying it has guarded its independence since its founding in 1989. It adds that it receives funding from multiple sources, including United Nations organizations. The group adds the embassy's criticism and the rapid spread of its statement online appeared to be part of a coordinated attack. And that's today's wrap. I'm JC Gotinga. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. For more updates, download the Rappler app.